The current law for selling cars requires that you go through the big existing franchise dealer networks. Unfortunately, we're an electric car that's different and requires one to educate people about what an electric car is about. And the existing car dealers that sell lots of gasoline cars have a conflict of interest relative to selling the virtues of an electric car. So it's just really hard for them to sell electric cars without counterselling what is the mainstay of their business. So what we're saying is, like, look, for startup electric car companies, so if there's a new electric car company, not just Tesla, it could be anyone, then they should be allowed to sell direct, because that's the only way for us to make our case in an unconflicted way to the consumer. If we don't succeed this session, we'll come back again. But of course, the legislature in Texas only meets every 2 years, so it would at least be 2 years from now. What I've told by some is that it takes up to 3 legislative sessions when it's something controversial. And Texas is a free enterprise state that prides itself on being the freest in the nation. I think that's a good thing. And the laws that are in place to protect the big established auto dealer groups are very un-Texas. Our total sales, would be maybe 0.1% of all new cars sold in Texas. Because there's like 1.3 million new cars sold in Texas every year. We're talking about maybe 1,500. So it's not like this is taking money, from, food from the mouths of auto dealers. This is like just a crumb. So I think you'd think that they'd be willing to compromise, but we've tried every possible compromise, and they've just said no, nothing. It's like Dr. Seuss, Green Eggs and Ham. Like they won't do it in a house, they won't do it in a mouse. I think maybe they think that if there's an electric vehicle exemption, somehow that opens up, somehow makes them vulnerable, their franchise is vulnerable, with respect to Ford or GM or anything. But we tried hard to craft this bill in a way so that it only applies to startup electric vehicle companies, to be as unthreatening as possible. I think it's true in almost every arena, and unfortunately is not true in the car, with respect to car sales. And I think as soon as Texans realize that, they'll be like, hey, what the heck, we need to change this law. This is very un-Texan. When they had the House hearing yesterday, there were 5 people that showed up to testify for the Auto Dealer Association. They were all employed by the Auto Dealer Association. There were 47 people that testified in favor of Tesla. 2 of them were employed by Tesla. I don't even actually know who all came. I'm not joining Come Lately to Texas, because we're on the space side. We've been operating in Texas for now over 10 years. We have our main rocket development facility in Central Texas near Waco, and the people of McGregor and Waco and General Area have been incredibly supportive, that's part of why I was like, yeah, it's really great doing business in Texas. And they're like, when we do sort of big, exciting things, they're cheering us on, and it's good. So when it came time to think about, okay, where are we going to put the world's first commercial orbital launch site, me and the rest of the team were like, hey, we should do it in Texas. We've had such a good experience.